Hi, Andrea. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you, tour guide?
I'm okay. So let's start our interview with introduction. Can you give us some information about yourself shortly?
Sure. Yeah, my name's Andrea Giordano, and I am an ESL instructor and the assistant director of the ESL Institute at Campbellsville University in Kentucky in the United States. I'm also the director and creator of ESLbasics.com, where we put together English language videos for English language learners. I'm married to a man named Mike Giordano, and we have a son named North, and he's only 4.5 months old now.
Okay, great. So in America, in which city do you live? I mean, do you live in a big city, in a town? Can you give us some information about the place where you live?
Sure, I live in the very center of Kentucky, which is a state in the United States, and the town's name is Campbellsville, and it is a very, very small town. I believe in the town there's only around 12,000 people, um, but we have a college in our town, and it gives it a lot of vitality. And even though we're in the middle of nowhere, it seems, we have so many international students who come study here. So we have a taste of the world in such a small town, even though it's really hidden in the middle of Kentucky.
Okay. Can you also give us some information about your educational background? I know that you have a master's degree, but I mean, what is your major at university? I mean, what did you study?
Yeah, I did my master's degree at Shenandoah University, and I actually did that through they have an online master's in education with an emphasis in TESOL, and I did that through them, and that's a school in Virginia, Winchester, Virginia, and that was such a positive experience. I learned so much through that. But yeah, I graduated with my master's in education in TESOL, and I did my undergrad actually with Campbellsville University um, back from 99 to 2002. And I did educational ministries with that. And so I got a good emphasis on education as well as serving people.
Yeah, great. And why, like, how did you decide to be an English teacher? Like, were you inspired by someone? How did you have the idea to teach English?
Yeah, it's actually kind of a funny story. I had graduated from college, and I didn't know what I wanted to do. It was one of those things I was trying to figure it out and trying to figure out whether I wanted to go ahead and move overseas somewhere and just volunteer my time, or whether I wanted to start pursuing an education. And my dad came to me, actually my mom and dad, and they just said, Andrea, we are committed to, making your dreams come true, whatever they are. So if you want to go do your master's, we'll help you out. And I said, well, I have no idea what I would study. And they said, well, what do you want to do? And I really had no idea. And my dad started making a list of all the things I would want to do in the world. And I think it was like a list of 20 or 30 things. And there started to be a common theme that I loved languages. One of the things I put on there was, oh, I think it would be great to be a Spanish teacher. And I really enjoyed tutoring students in English in college. That was really fun. And so he kind of saw before I did the connection of, well, you really like teaching languages. And I was like, yeah, I guess I do. And through that, I started researching programs that would teach English, do TESOL online because of where I was living. I moved back to Kentucky and started researching that. And the more I started getting into it, I started tutoring again for ESL students. The more I realized that's exactly what I should be doing.
Okay, interesting story. So, what about your adventure connected to online teaching? Because I know that those days still many teachers keep some distance with the internet, with online technology. So, I mean, how did you decide to create, something online and to help the students through online education?
Yeah, well, I just have always known that my impact in life would be more than just one location. I've always had a fascination with traveling and meeting all kinds of people. And so with online education, it came about with a conversation that I had with my brother one day, and he's actually our technical director and director of operations and now. But at the time, we just started talking about how I really felt like I could make videos and teach English online. And he came behind me and started supporting me, and that's where the idea came about. We just knew that I would be do relatively well at conveying myself on video and speaking to a lot of people. And so, yeah, we just started putting it together, and that's how ESLbasics came about. It was in 2008 or 2009, somewhere back then.
Okay, so if you talk about your free time activities, first of all, do you have enough free time to spend for yourself and to spend with your family?
Yeah, I would say I do. I really like to keep a balanced life as far as work and my personal life goes. And I'm able to spend a lot of time with my husband and son, and also my dear friends who live in this town here as well. And I guess in a lot of my free time, I'm spending it hanging out with my son or being with my friends. There's not a lot to do in the town I live in, and so that's what I love about this community is that the people are so inviting, and we share meals together, and we watch TV together, and we just like to hang out and do life together, I guess.
Is there a cinema or theater in your town?
There is. There are both. We are lucky to have a good theater program at our university. And so, in fact, this week we're taking our students to see the play The Importance of Being Earnest. And then also we do have a movie theater as well.
Yeah. So I also know that you like traveling very much. So at this point, if I ask you, which countries have you been to so far? I mean, which countries have you traveled to?
Yeah, I've been to 25 different countries.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It would be difficult to mention all of them.
Sure.
But if I put the question like this, like which country did you like the most? Which country affected you the most and why?
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
Those are a couple different questions. Well, I will say I've been to several different regions in the world, and what I've noticed is that every region has such a rich culture to offer. And for me, the reason I've been to so many countries is because I love tasting each culture and experiencing new places. I would say one of my favorite places I've ever been was Croatia, and I'd say that was because the coast was gorgeous. I did a backpacking trip through Europe by myself a couple years ago, and I got to experience all kinds of things, but Croatia really stuck out to me. I loved the laid-back feel of it, and the people were very friendly. But as far as impacting me the most, I would say it was probably Panama. And the reason is because I stayed there for 4 months with a friend of mine, and we volunteered our time to do some community building and teaching. And we lived on an island called Manitupu in the sea there. And we had no electricity, no running water. We lived with an indigenous family in a hut that had rats in the roof. And it was an excellent experience. The people there affected me greatly.
Yeah. And one last question. I know that you have got a great experience in the field of teaching English. And in Turkey, there is a growing interest among the young people and even the middle-aged people about learning English. But unfortunately, Turkey is not very good at this topic. I mean, there has been a survey among 44 countries, and unfortunately, Turkey has been listed as 43rd country in terms of having a good English education. So, I mean, what kind of advices would you have for ESL learners trying to learn English?
In Turkey?
Yeah, in Turkey especially, or in general,
Sure.
maybe in the world, yeah.
Well, I think that the countries that are the most successful as far as English language learning goes are the ones who have a, let's see, how can I put this? Have a culture shift in their minds as far as what relationship English has with real life. I'm always preaching that English must be learned in context. It has to be a part of real life. It can't just be a subject taught in school or just a subject from a textbook. And so the advice I would give to Turkish students is there are native English speakers in your city, wherever you live. And I would encourage you to find those people and just become friends with them. Start making English speakers a part of your life. And then, that may not be completely easy, so I would say start watching English movies and forget the subtitles. Just watch English movies and listen to English music, research English lyrics, join forums online that are in English, make the internet, search things out in English. There are plenty of people that you can connect with, and context is going to be what drives you. Also, I would say find out what your motivation is. Why are you learning English? If it's just to get a good job, that's probably not going to propel you forward with tons of passion in your studies. So find a heart-affecting reason of why you're learning English and search that out. In fact, I mean, there are so many reasons people learn English, but if it can be that you create a friend online and you really want to connect with that friend, your English is going to improve so much more quickly.
So in short, you say the students should make English a part of their life.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, thank you for this great conversation.
Thank you so much.
I'm really happy to talk to you.
Yes, me too. Thank you.